Did you know? 95% of home cooks are storing onions the wrong way without realizing it. Most people think it's fine to keep them on the kitchen counter, in the fridge, or toss them into a bag. But those common habits are exactly what cause onions to sprout quickly, grow mold, and rot away. Have you ever opened the fridge, found your onions soft, smelly, and had to throw them out in regret? If so, then today's video is just for you. Tracy is going to share 5 easy and cost-saving tricks to keep onions fresh for up to 12 months, straight from seasoned onion farmers themselves. To store onions for a long time, the first step is knowing how to identify and choose the right type. Onions with thick skins and low water content last much longer than those with thin skins and high moisture. On the other hand, onions with thin skins and high water content are more difficult to store and more likely to sprout or grow mold. That's why, when buying, you should prioritize mature onions with dry outer skins that cling tightly to the bulb and with a small dry neck. These are signs of a well-developed onion that's less likely to sprout or spoil quickly. Once you've picked good quality onions, it's time to move on to the best storage methods. Method 1. Store whole onions in a cool, dry, dark place. If you want onions to stay fresh and crisp for a long time, the simplest way is to keep them whole and store them in a dry, well-ventilated place away from direct light. You can place onions in mesh bags, paper bags, or open baskets. Here, Tracy reuses a fruit mesh bag. Great airflow and budget-friendly. Place each onion into the bag, then tie the opening tightly closed. Next, hang or place the onions in a cool location, ideally between 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 to 10 degrees Celsius. This temperature range keeps the onions dormant, preventing sprouting and rot. One important tip: never store onions near potatoes. Potatoes release moisture and ethylene gas, which can cause onions to spoil and sprout much faster. Using this method, depending on how mature and dry the onions are, you can store them for up to 3 months, or even a full year. It's a great way to save money and ensure you always have onions ready when it's time to cook. Method 2. Store whole onions in the refrigerator. If you live in a place with hot and humid weather year-round, or don't have a dry, airy storage space, keeping whole onions in the refrigerator is a smart option. But it must be done properly to avoid mold or loss of flavor. First, wrap each onion in a dry paper towel. This layer will absorb moisture and reduce condensation, which is a common cause of spoilage. Then, place the wrapped onions in a thin cloth bag or a light paper bag. Avoid using sealed plastic bags, as they trap humidity and can cause the onions to rot faster. Next, put the bag of onions in your fridge's vegetable crisper drawer, where temperatures are more stable and less prone to fluctuation. Keep onions away from strong-smelling foods like butter, milk, or ripe fruit, which can absorb or transfer odors. With this method, onions can stay fresh for 1 to 2 months without sprouting or becoming moldy. This simple trick ensures you always have fresh onions on hand. No sprouting, no surprises. Method 3. Store cut onions in the fridge. Ever sliced an onion and only used half, then wondered how to keep the rest fresh for the next meal? Don't throw it away. With the right method, a cut onion can stay fresh in the fridge for 1 to 2 days. First, if you're only using half an onion, do not peel off all the outer layers. Leaving the skin on helps protect the inner layers from air and bacteria, preventing it from drying out or absorbing fridge odors. Then, wrap the onion tightly with plastic wrap or place it in a sealed zip-top bag. You can also use an airtight container if that's more convenient. Important tip: cut onions lose their aroma quickly and may dry out or turn slimy if stored too long. So it's best to use them within 1 to 2 days. Also, store them in the fridge's main compartment, away from foods like milk, eggs, or fruit that can absorb or transfer smells. This easy storage method reduces waste and keeps your next dish just as flavorful as the first. Method 4. Freezing chopped onions. If you're often busy and want to save time on daily meal prep, freezing pre-chopped onions is a super effective solution. Just chop the onions to the size you usually use, minced, diced, or thinly sliced, however you prefer. Onions are rich in quercetin, a powerful antioxidant that helps reduce inflammation, boost immunity, and support heart health and arthritis relief. They also contain sulfur compounds that help lower cholesterol, regulate blood pressure, improve blood flow, and reduce the risk of stroke, essential nutrients your body needs daily. Once chopped, spread the onion pieces evenly in a zip-top bag to prevent clumping. It's also helpful to label the bag with the freezing date to keep track of storage time. Next, place the onion bag in the freezer. With this method, onions can be stored for up to 6 months while still retaining their flavor for stir-fries, soups, stews, or other cooked dishes. Alternatively, you can store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator if you plan to use them within a few days. Each time, simply take out the portion you need without defrosting the entire bag. However, frozen onions aren't ideal for raw dishes like salads or salsas, as they lose their crisp texture after thawing. This is a fantastic trick for those who like to prep ingredients in advance, perfect for busy seasons or when buying onions in bulk at a good price. It saves time and ensures every meal stays full of flavor. Method 5. How to store cooked onions. Did you know that cooked onions can also be stored for later use? That's right. This method is incredibly convenient for those who are busy but still want to have flavorful ingredients ready in the fridge. First, slice the onions evenly so they cook uniformly and look appealing. Then sauté them briefly with a bit of oil or butter until they turn translucent and release a mild aroma. Don't overcook or brown them too much, as that could affect the flavor when reheated later. Next, let the sautéed onions cool completely before portioning them into zip-top bags or airtight containers based on your cooking needs. With this method, you can store them in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. Perfect for quickly seasoning stir-fries, scrambled eggs, or noodles. Or you can freeze them for up to 3 months and use them gradually in soups, stews, or sauces, without needing to sauté onions from scratch each time. Just a few simple steps, and you'll save significant meal prep time, especially helpful for quick breakfasts or busy weeknights. Be sure to save this tip and give it a try. So, we've just explored 5 incredibly simple yet effective ways to store onions, from keeping whole bulbs in a cool, dry place, refrigerating, freezing chopped pieces, to preserving already cut or cooked onions for later use. Thanks to these little tricks, you'll never have to worry about sprouting, rotting, or wasting onions again. Have you tried any of these methods yet? Or do you have another great tip to share? Leave a comment below so we can all learn from each other. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, follow, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of Tracy's upcoming kitchen hacks. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.